Hi Ben, is it strange to think you'll never throw the ball to Jimmy?
Sorry, I'm just trying to swallow my chewing gum.
I thought I'd made you cry for a minute.
Not yet. Yeah, it is. I think walking off there at the end, obviously taking the last wicket to win the game, I think you could sort of see from everyone it was like, right, game's done now, but there's also that overwhelming feeling of this is the last time that we will get to walk off the field with Jimmy, but also the last time that the crowds who come out to watch us will see Jimmy walk off the field. But I think the whole week, every time that we've walked out onto the field, Jimmy's led us on. The reception he got, and then obviously walking off, and then that half an hour after where he got the sort of reception that he deserved was very, very special to be a part of.
And can he still offer a lot to English cricket? He's going to take on this mentoring role. How's that going to work? How's that going to look?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, he's really keen to help the fast bowlers, progressors, performers. I mean, I don't think I could think of a better person to be able to do that. We've got obviously some inexperienced guys with a lot of talent, who are going to get an opportunity, over the coming months, and Gus Atkinson being one of them, Matthew Potts back into the squad, and Dylan Pennington as well, first time in the squad. So to have someone like Jimmy Anderson there to speak to them and give them advice, I couldn't think of a better person to be able to do that.
And it is the end of an era. Obviously, James Anderson is irreplaceable, but how pleasing to see Gus Atkinson come onto the scene and immediately announce himself in that fashion. Yeah,
incredible. First time I seen Gus sort of live was in our 50 over World Cup in India. He obviously come into that team on the back of, I think, bowling at Joss in the 100. And when you watch someone bowl live in training, I got a real sense of, he's more than just someone who can run up and bowl fast. He's very skillful. It's just an added bonus that he can, bowl, up at 90 mile an hour as well. And I think this week, obviously, taking 12 wickets on debut proves that. I think he uses slope from the pavilion end very, very well. And he knows what he's doing. He can nip the ball, but he can also, swing the ball. So for someone who's got that skill set, but can also bowl up at 90 mile an hour is very, very useful to have.
And he has the attributes, do you think, to be an opening bowler?
Definitely. I think, you look at the way in which the sort of Duke's ball has sort of behaved over the last couple of years. It generally doesn't do that much in the air until the lacquer comes off, and then you get a nice buff side when it starts swinging. So, to have someone who can exploit any seam movement out of a wicket, but then also swing the ball when the conditions are in favour, it's very exciting to have someone like that in your ranks.
Rory, Warren. Jimmy was saying that the thing he would miss most was sitting with you guys in the dressing room after a win, a Test match win. What was it? How's it been like in there? Have you managed to make him crack yet? He's held it up so far as we can see.
Well, he's been busy doing media duty for the last 40 minutes, so I think he's looking forward to getting up there and enjoying the moment. I think the interview he gave to Nasser was pretty special. Nasser, I know, played a lot of cricket with Jimmy when he was younger, and so for him to be able to do that interview whilst he's in the dressing room with all the emotions still of walking off after winning the game was very cool to be a part of. And I thought Jimmy spoke brilliantly. I thought Nasser interviewed him very, very well. So yeah, next couple of hours will be interesting.
You'll be able to squeeze a tear out of him?
Who knows? He is a very emotional person, Jimmy, even though he might not look like it. I think he's done well to hold the tears back. Obviously he's had an amazing reception here, watching his family, ring the bell for the start of the Test match. I think he's done very well to hold back those emotions. But I think, tonight and over the next couple of days, might see a bit more emotional Jimmy Anderson.
Obviously, with all the montages, retrospectives about Jimmy, it's been a lot of looking back this week. As a captain, are you as excited, more excited about looking forward when you see Gus, Jamie Smith? Shoaib's not managed to get into the game this week, but this is, as well as been a farewell to Jimmy, this was the start of throwing things forward.
Yeah, I think so. I think as well that, I feel as if today and, it's more of a celebration of Jimmy's career, looking back at all of the special moments that he's had over, 21 years? The amount of games that he's won for England with the ball, by himself. But also, I think as well, what a great person, what a great man. I think what sums him up is Gus actually apologised to him for taking that last wicket. And Jimmy just sort of, is this live? Told him to F off. So, that just sums him up. He's someone who loves seeing people do well. I'm sure he would have loved to have had that fairy tale ending like Brodie did last year. But I think for him, seeing a young lad come in and take 12 wickets on debut, I think he really enjoyed that for Gus as well.
Ben, I was just going to ask about that interview with Nasser, because usually at the end of a game, you're probably popping champagne and slapping each other on the back, but everyone seemed to be listening incredibly intently to what Jimmy was saying. Can you sort of describe the atmosphere in there as you were sort of hanging on his every word?
Yeah, well, I think that moments like that, I think sort of you sort of take a step back from that, and you actually really appreciate sort of listening to someone like that, who's gone through such a long career, gone through so many ups, so many downs, that people were genuinely so interested to hear what Jimmy had to say to the questions that Nasser threw at him. I think pretty special images for the public and the world to be able to see. It's such a short period after winning a game. Obviously, we don't get to see that often, but everyone was just so interested to hear what Jimmy had to say. From players to support staff as well. Jimmy did say he felt a bit under the pump there because everyone was just staring at him. But I thought he spoke really, really well.
We'll do Chris and then Will. Go ahead, Chris.
Ben, just ask you, what's your sort of your favourite moment of Jimmy's time as an England cricketer?
It's a lot. I think maybe not a moment, but I think his character and his desire to constantly want to get better, I think, is one thing that everyone who gets an opportunity, England shirt, should look to emulate. Jimmy's career has just got better and better over the years, in particular over the last 6, 7, 8 years. He was never happy with what he had. He was always looking to improve, add deliveries to his armoury, and obviously his stats have shown that. Every year, I think, the average, the strike rate, whatever it is, has always gone in the right direction that you want as a bowler. So, for anyone who's come into the team or wants to aspire to be a fast bowler, everything that Jimmy has done over his career, I think, is something that everyone should look to emulate and work towards.
And that attitude and the experience he's got, I guess, is why you want him to stick around this summer as a mentor. Is there a possibility, is there a chance, if he's up for it and you're up for it, that he could basically be your bowling coach or a mentor for the Ashes in Australia in a couple of years' time? Yeah,
definitely. That's why we're asking him to stay around. I mean, look, it's at the end of the day that he's going to be with us for the rest of the summer in that role. But it's up to him if he feels like it's something that he really wants to do. If he's got the desire to help bowlers progress, like he did with his own career, then honestly, I just can't think of a better person to be able to influence all the fast bowlers who are going to represent England whilst Jimmy Anderson's still around. So really excited to see how that goes, and I know that he's very passionate at the moment about giving everything he possibly can to helping the guys get better.
So one each from Will, Stefan, Beran, and then we'll do Andrew and finish with Mike.
Ben, I wondered if Gus's performances made you feel even more confident in the decision you made around Jimmy, and also made you think that how ready you are to throw new guys in when they can take to Test cricket like that, Dylan Pennington and whoever's beyond him in the squad. Are you ready to hand out some more Davies this summer?
Oh no, I don't think it's made me more confident about our decision with Jimmy. It's just made me more confident about Gus, to be honest. I've always, since the first time I seen Gus, bowl live, I've just always felt that there's something, very special there. Bowls quick, he's got amazing skill, and it's just effortless. And I think as well, you look back at his first day on the field, bowling, the way he was able to sustain his pace, but with so much variety, whether he was, trying to nip the ball or trying to swing the ball. And then obviously we've seen him bowl with, aggression when we're trying to go short, especially today. Really encouraging signs. And yeah, you got to take, sometimes you look at players and you think about where they could go. A good saying that sort of we like to live by is that this is the worst that they're going to be. And if you throw them out there in international cricket, they're only ever going to get better. And him and Jamie, I think, have had brilliant first games out in an England shirt. So, yeah, the more time that they get out in the middle, the more exposed they are to situations, and in particular pressure situations, the only good it's going to do for English cricket going forward.
Ben, as a fielding captain, how much easier is your job when you've got a fully fit Ben Stokes as part of your attack? And just quietly, when you are planning for the future, is what you've been able to do this week maybe the most important thing for the development of the team over the next 18 months?
Yeah, I think I said to Baz, I think when we bowled, I was like, even though it's only one more option, I felt like I had way more options than we have done over the last couple of years. Now I'm back bowling full time. You just feel like you can, manipulate your decisions a lot easier. I know I bowled 2 longer spells, and you just feel like you can operate it just a little bit easier. I know Bash didn't get an opportunity with the ball this game, but that was purely down to the conditions that we sort of had with us when we had the ball. We always felt that seam was going to be the threat. But yeah, it's obviously a long summer, and I'm sure conditions will, and game situations will dictate when Bash comes on to bowl. But yeah, it's always nice having 5 options to be able to turn to if you feel like you need to break a wicket.
Just as an all-rounder, how does it complete you as a cricketer when you can, or affect you as a cricketer actually, when you have one discipline taken away and now it comes back, and can the batting feed off the bowling? Yeah, I mean, well, as a cricketer, it's obviously a big miss, being an all-rounder is something that I've done, ever since I was a kid. So knowing, before I've had my surgery, knowing that I probably wouldn't be able to play the role that, I've done for so long was obviously frustrating, and more frustrating that I couldn't add or couldn't help out the guys, and we were in sort of tricky situations and asking guys to come back for sometimes, the 4th spells when they're tired and they put everything into it. But yeah, in terms of, completing me as a cricketer, that's what I am. I always try and influence the game, I always have done, and now I've got back into a place where, I know I can bowl without any worries. It's really good.
Afternoon, Ben. This is Behram Qazi from Pro Sports. Congratulations on a fantastic victory. You guys were marvellous out there. England scored 370 odd runs in this game at a scoring rate of round about 4 per over, which is about 1 less run per over from the first iteration of Bazball. Is this something we can expect more, or are you just taking that game by game?
No, I don't think, looking at the run rate, it's probably not what, should be focused on. One thing in particular with the batters, that I just thought it was just so calm and clinical. We did have a period, and just to go back to compliment one of our debutants, Jamie Smith, when he came into bat in a position that is completely new to him at number 7. We obviously lost Brookie, myself and Joe in quite quick succession when we were dominating the game with the bat, so that was a tricky situation, but he came in and just looked so calm and collected at the crease and wrestled that momentum back towards us. And then obviously when he was batting with the tail at the end, the clarity he had to not only try and take the strike as much as he could, but just looked at ease in that situation. And yeah, I think that 6 he hit out the ground just proves the power game he's got as well. But I thought his whole innings, he structured incredibly well in a new position and a new role for him. Was very, very exciting for us. But as a debut goes, not only with a bat, but also, keepers always say that you don't want to be noticed really with the gloves. And when that happens, you've generally had a good day. And I thought he was very tidy behind the stumps as well.
Cheers.
Last one, Andrew, please.
Ben, just in terms of the choreography of the day, for want of a better word, I mean, Jimmy's obviously synonymous with the pavilion end. Was there ever any thought about whether he should finish off there, or was it just a case of Gus has got the wickets, he keeps the end?
Yeah, well, obviously Gus had that 1 ball left to complete this morning. Jimmy, I didn't tell him it, but I said he was always going to bowl until we took that last wicket. So there's however long it took. I wasn't going to take him off. Even if he said he was tired, I was like, no, you got to keep going here. But look, it was great. Obviously, Jimmy in his last game, fairy tale ending was on the cards, but also Gus, 10 wickets on debut. So, I felt like those two were going to be the ones to get us over the line, however it happened. It was just how it sort of played out last night in terms of Jimmy having the far end as opposed to his favourite end here at the Pavilion.
And just in terms of the evolution of the team, obviously it's now 2 home tests in a row in which lost Stuart Broad and now Jimmy. I mean, that's an awful lot of experience, an awful lot of emotions going on in consecutive tests for the home crowd as much as the dressing room. I mean, can you sum up the way you've been through? Because obviously Broadie's retirement almost came as a bit of a surprise to most of us when he announced it on that penultimate day.
Yeah. When we got back into the dressing room, I said to Joe, as well, we've been with Cookie, we've been with Broadie, and now we've been with Jimmy. So sort of made us realise our age as well. I feel very fortunate to have been able to have played as much cricket as I have done with not only Jimmy but Broadie and Cookie. 3 goats of our game, 3 goats of the game as a whole. So a very emotional day, not just for us but also for Jimmy, and also, I mean, what an occasion for the new lads coming in to be a part of that. Gus, Jamie, first taste of international cricket, to see that reception that you can get as England players. Sort of, even for me, who's played a lot of cricket, it sends goosebumps down you. So I'd love to know what they were feeling when they were watching that all unfold.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Sorry, before you all jump out and go very quickly, lots of celebrations for this game, Jimmy Anderson and so on and so forth. But I know he's kept it really quiet, but it's also Danny's 100th test as media manager for England. He's been a terrific friend to a lot of us for a long time, really supportive, got the respect of the players, the respect of the media, and he certainly helped me out this week. So as a token of appreciation from the West Indies team, he'll sign a memento of the game.
Good, guys. Yeah, well done, Danny.